friends, and welcome back. I'm Enterprise Architecture. We are back here in the back rooms playing more Liminal Industries. Unfortunately, Geek could not join me for today's episode. Our schedules did not permit it, so I'm going to be diving into automating a couple of things that we did not get automated previously that we are needed to automate, and also a few things that we need to re-automate since we moved to our new base. So we're going to look at Slotaki spores, flux tooth spores, whatever the one is that makes us glowstone. And we're also going to go ahead and try and get our sugarcane production back up and running. So that is going to be things that we are going to need for the next set of quest lines. If we are really lucky, we'll also get back into some immersive engineering. So with no further ado, let's dive right in. For those of you who were left at the cliffhanger, we did indeed fix our problem with power. I just added a boatload of additional arms onto our engine here. And yeah, that seems to have solved all of our stress worries. I added these stressometers and speedometers. And at the current speed, what did I set this out? 225. We still have 26,000 stress units remaining. That should be enough for a while. We can still pull this down a little bit further if we want. But I think the next thing we might do here is build ourselves another set of burners here. If I can convince Geek to go blaze hunting for me. I do not have the constitution to deal with that. He's very, very good at it. All right, so a bunch of episodes ago, we got our Slotaki spores automated, we got our flux tooth spores automated, but we are almost out of flux tooth spores now. I think we'll probably have enough Slotakis to last the rest of the pack, but I do want to do it just to have it done so that we can say that we have it re-automated now that we've done things. The other thing that we are going to need here is the last one of this set. And what is the name of that? I keep forgetting over and over again. The glimmer cap spores, right? So we're gonna need those. That's how we are gonna get glowstone dust. So we can make that with the ingredients that we have on hand here. Now, what we need for this is a mystical yellow petal, which we got through throwing down some floral fertilizer on our grass over there that I started setting up. We are gonna need a gold nugget, which is easy. And sulfur dust, of course, we have to make using the crucible. I actually made this one successfully on the first try this time and did not fail, which is unusual for me because I've been really, really bad at that particular mod, the Eidolon stuff. And there we go. There is our first glimmer cap spore. Now, that and one of each of these will set us well on the path here to be able to automate each of them. Now, all of these are getting automated in the fermenting barrel, which means we need a source of water, and we also need to put a heater nearby it. We will make up some kegs. Now, I believe we have some kegs on hand. Oh, Geek set up this stock keeper system with our item vault. He's not here to talk about it, but basically you can request any item that you need from this giant vault full of stuff from our stock keeper here. So if he has a keg, for instance, we can just ask him for a keg, or if he has a heater. It doesn't look like he has either of those, but this is going to be how we can do most of our storage. We can keep making this a lot bigger too, because this will grow all the way out that way. I can't remember how big you can make these. I think it's like 8 blocks long. There we go. Of course, was in one of our backpacks, along with some extra spores that I didn't remember I had. Now, the other thing we are going to need here is a heater, which I don't think we have done at this point. But over here, you can kind of see the process. We have our keg right here. Here is our heating cask. And we are using water out of this system here to automatically fill those. I could, I guess, redo this entire setup a little bit here and make this work for all of our kegs. That might require a little bit of doing, but it might be the easiest way to get it done. But I'm going to need at least 2 more kegs to get this done. And that means I need glue, treated wood planks, and iron ingots. Let's see how we are doing on that. Treated wood planks. Let's go ahead and get 8 of those. We are going to need some glue, 2 of those, and some iron ingots. Iron ingots. I forget how many we need of those, so let's just get a lot. Right, I think I did nail that. Let's see here. That should be correct for that. Let's go ahead and make up a couple of these. There we go, and now we have 3 kegs. And now we're going to need the cask heater, heating cask, 8 tree wood planks, a block of charcoal, and a trapdoor of any sort. Okay, so we need 9 of these. We are going to need treated wood again. Treat. 7 of those, and we will also need a trapdoor. And it looks like we have plenty of those. Give me that. This is so nice. I assume we can do some sort of auto crafting as well, but I haven't gotten that far. Okay. There we go, heated cask. And this is an automatic heater. It doesn't require any additional ingredients to do its heating job. Actually, we could probably double up on this one by using the space right over here for our casking. That might be the way to do it. We're going to have to play with this a little bit, though, to make sure that this works. Okay, so this should do us. We do have all of our kegs that are now warm because the heating cask needs to be within, I think it's 2 blocks in each direction of a keg. And so all of these are warm now with this pattern. So the first 2 are going to be dedicated to our dirt production and to our rich soil production. The last 2 are going to be purely spores for us. So let's go ahead and set these up just like this so that we know that these are for rich soil and dirt respectively. We will put our rich soil there. Let's grab our dirt back up, which was in one of these. There we go. And we'll put this in here. And while we're at it, we're going to put more of our rich soil and, of course, the rest of our grass. Grass in this pack is really easy. We just put water on dirt, magically get grass. That is the easiest I have seen in a mod pack to get grass in a very long time. So I certainly appreciate that being an alternate recipe in here. Okay, great. And then the last 3 here are going to be purely our spores. So we should be able to put these in here, and these are going to get started, I think, right away. As soon as we do the most important thing, we hook it up with some pipes to some water. All right, so with that, these should start cooking along. You can see this is going really slowly. These are not fast recipes by any means, but eventually these will double. And you can see here in every single case, yeah, this is just straight up doubling for us. Now, we do need to keep 1 in stock at all times in each of these. So for that, we are going to use our packagers and our frog ports. All right, so let's get this set up for a little bit of automation. All we have to do is throw down some drawers to hold our lovely ingredients coming out here. We should be able to put wooden hoppers on top of these with no trouble, just like that. Great. Now, each of these kegs is going to need its own individual packager as well to tell it where to get its items into. And generally speaking, as we learned in the previous episode, we have to put those in from on top. They will not accept items from other slots or they will go into the wrong slots. So our packagers have to go on top of each of these, just like that. All right. Frog ports, of course, go on top of those. And we need to connect the frog ports up to some sort of a chain drive. Now, we have a chain drive that's right over there. So ideally, we would attach to that, but I think that's going to be a little too far away. So what I might do is go ahead and grab up a metal girder and set up another chain conveyor right over here. And maybe this will branch off onto this. So maybe we put it like right here. And let's just go high enough that we know that we can probably put our frog ports connecting to it. So let's try this real quick. This might or might not work. Okay, that's green. Now, ideally, we'll put it right up on top of this. Will that work? Yeah, it likes that. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Let's do another one over here. There we go. And let's put this one over here. Just like that. Okay, so there's our input frog ports. Now, all we have to do is our output frog ports. So those work very, very similarly. We are just going to put our packagers down onto these drawers. And I think that's going to be tall enough that we can connect up to that. Ideally, I'd love to put these on the side just so that we have a little bit more access. But maybe what we'll do is we'll like rotate these drawers instead. And then we can still get access. Let's see here. Do we have our hammer? We have our hammer. Can we just rotate those that way? Yeah, that'll work. And then we put these here. And then our frogs will once again go right up here and attach to this. Perfect. And then all we have to do is connect up this. So I think we can break that chain drive. And then I'm going to put literally another one like right. Oh, you know what? We may as well just make this like routed across this because it's not that far off that it's really going to slow down any of our packages. So let's put this to here. Let's put this to here. Yeah, that should work fine. And then all of this is connected up. Now, the only thing we are missing here is 2 basic ingredients. I'm going to break that again because what we need to do is have a stock link. And this is going to have to be chained to our system. Let's just tie it into that network device there. And let's put these on this side. Why not? Can still get access to these boxes in there. And our spores are going in there. Okay, wonderful. Okay, and so now we go back to our stock keeping trick here. Each of these needs to be named. So we're going to do these in order. We're going to call this keg Slitaki. Is that right? Is there two I's in no, that's one. Okay, keg Slitaki. We put this there, and we tell it that we want at least 2 at all times. There we go, in keg Slitaki. So in theory, this frog port should know about that, and it should just do the thing, but it doesn't seem to be doing the thing. Oh, it's because we haven't selected that. There we go. Blurp, blurp, and there we go, keg Slitaki. Okay, and then we do the same thing for each of these others. We're going to tell this one, well, we want Fluxtooth spores. All right, so that's keg Fluxtooth. That is taken care of. And then this one will be the last one, the Glimmercap spores. Again, 1, 2. And this will be keg Glimmercap. Great. And again, what a mistake we made here. We didn't tell it to select that one. This one, we also need to select this one. There goes that. And here goes this. Perfect. Okay, so these should be brewing. Those are all brewing. These are all brewing. Wonderful. And these should just start accumulating very, very rapidly. Okay, we might want to go ahead and make some upgrades for this, but I think that should do for now. We do have some storage upgrades. I guess we may as well just like upgrade each of these by 1 with a gold upgrade. Let's see here. You get one, you get one, and you get one. Okay, perfect. That should work really well. Now that is a lot easier than the setup that we had to make previously with the belt and the back and the forth and the dropping it out and using the funnels and the, yeah, this is just wonderful. These factory gauges are just a wonder because again, they just maintain the inventory that you tell them. That's just working so well for us. See, look, it just spit another one back out. That's just working too good. All right, so next up, I am going to automate our production of sugarcane. We already have 2,000 sugarcane over there, but I don't think it'll be that hard to get a little sugarcane farm going. And in fact, we actually got some other little farms going over here. I've started making a small potato farm and a small onion farm. This will grow over time, and I'll probably move it to a better location. But this is kind of working for us, as well as, our berries that we've already seen. So what I really want to do is just make a very small sugarcane farm. And I think what we'll do is we'll put snad on the bottom, and then we'll put the sugarcane above it. So let's see here. Where do we want to do that? I guess we could go up from here and put it on this same wall, the same way that we've got going up there with our bamboo. It's exactly the same layout. Let me build a little space for this, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so we are going to need to make some snad. First things first, I believe we should just be able to take the sand and then pack it. Let's see here. Or is it smooshing it? It's not packing. It's not mixing. Yeah, it's pressing. That's how we do it. Okay, great. So let's put this down on a press. There we go. Slowly snatting away. While that is going, we need to make up a couple of other things. First and foremost, we are going to need some of those redstone repeaters. Oh, we already have redstone repeaters. Okay, well, that's going to make this go a lot faster. All right, redstone repeaters are done. I believe I have levers in here. We need that. We are going to need a cart assembler. And we had a bunch of minecart contraptions that we had broken down previously. I'm going to reuse these because these were actually used for our original farm. So those should still work for us. I just need to know which is which. We've got 4 of them. I don't know which we're going to need, but we're going to find out really quickly here. The only other thing that's going to be an issue for us is we are going to need a couple of buckets of water. Let's go ahead and grab one for now. And we're going to start laying this out up on top of this aluminum scaffolding. We're actually going to go up a couple of layers just to make it easier to work with, but we want our redstone signal to be able to trigger right underneath this. So for this to work, we need a spot that we can put water, but we also need to be able to get around here. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th block is where our snad is going to go. And I think what we want to do is probably do like 8 of those. Maybe we can go up to 12. Yeah, that'll work okay for us. And I think what we can do is actually have the water right next to this in a column. So we need something that we can have easily underneath this. I think, we can use bamboo trapdoors to put the water in. That might work and look really nice. Okay, let's go ahead and try that real quick. To do that, of course, we will need to have a temporary building block first. And what we're going to do here is we're going to have another row next to it because we may as well double up here. So we're going to put this here, and then we're going to have another row of SNAD going this way. There we go. Because again, if we're going to have it, we may as well do it as much as possible. All right, so that will work there for that. And now what we need is like a bunch of bamboo trapdoors. And as we saw before, we have a few already. Let me go make some more. Okay, with this done, all we have to do is, oops, not double place these, but we do have to put these down right here on top of the SNAD, just like that. There we go. And then we are going to supply a redstone signal immediately underneath here, and that will cause these to grow very, very, very rapidly. So we do need to have some sort of a scaffolding block directly underneath this pattern as well. And again, this is why I was so emphatic that we have to have a space that we can get to these also, because this has to be able to be redstoned. All right, so something like this should work. And then we'll do another row over here. Oop, right there. Great. And if we're feeling really frisky, we really would be able to come up just a little bit more here. Can I climb these? Well, actually, you can climb aluminum scaffolding, so this might be ideal. So what we do want to make sure that we're doing is that we do have redstone repeaters throughout this in a way that is going to work for us. So let's see here. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to have a loop. That is a mistake some people do indeed make. What you can do instead is just have a redstone signal going into all of this in multiple locations, and then a separate loop that keeps the timing. So let's do something like this. And it just has to be no more than 16. Oh, you're not going to go into that spot, are you? Okay, right. There you go. Okay. Because we do have that trapdoor in the way, so you can't go but so far. Yeah, okay, so this is going to be a little bit problematic. I'm going to need to tinker with this a little bit. Let me do that real fast. All right, let's see if I can get this to work properly. So we want to trigger this in a little loop. So let's put down a repeater here. Let's put down a repeater here. There we go. Let's hook this up. And then if we flip the switch quickly enough, we should be able to start this loop going, just like that. There we go. So that's going to start to flicker. And then this could be tied into our various systems. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Okay, so trapdoors were a bad choice for this, but the rest of this is working. Let me replace these trapdoors with something a little more sane. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Does this look like... Yeah, that looks like the right one. Okay, so this will indeed break and harvest. That's exactly what we want. Also, we don't want to fall off of there. All right, and now we can rebuild this thing. So I think it's going to be easy enough for us. We're basically just going to need like a barrel, and then some sort of spacer block, and then a couple of those threshers. So let's put our barrel right on top. That'll be our first one. We are going to need glue. Do we not have glue? Yeah, we have glue on us. Okay, so put the glue in our offhand, and then everything we connect to this should glue itself together. Now, one trick here is that the threshers, there we go, they want to go onto a solid block, and that can be a problem if you don't actually want them to be on a solid block. So we're going to put the threshers like that. We are going to break these blocks. The threshers should stay put. They will. And then a linear chassis will go in between them. There we go. Okay. So that will now be a nice little line of threshers. Now, before I forget, let's change the rotation to lock rotation. We never want this to rotate. We just want it to stay in exactly this direction. This should then cut through this with no problem. And then we just need our portable storage interface. We're going to put on that right there. We're going to rotate this around so it's facing the right direction. Perfect. Let's make sure our super glue is our main hand and make sure that we, yeah, there we go. Don't have anything glued that we don't want glued. There we go. All of this should be glued up, but just to be safe, maybe we will re-glue this. There we go. Now it's a nice smooth row. That should work fine for us. Oh, we don't want that glued either. What do you do? What is all this? This is nonsense. There we go. Okay, that is perfect. That's exactly what we want. And now the portable storage interface needs to drop off its items into a container for us. So, we're going to throw that on the ground. Let's move right over here. Let's make ourselves a nice little platform. And this will be connected up over here. I'm going to use bamboo for now, but we will replace this in the near future with aluminum as soon as I have a little bit more on hand. Just like this. And then what we really need is some sort of a chute and some sort of a drawer. All right, drawer, chute, and then our portable storage interface, which will always face the opposite direction from what I want it to, no matter how many times I put this down. There we go. That will connect up. We should plonk that. That will make that connect up. And then all we have to do is finish laying out our minecart track so that this will actually go around in a loop. The easiest way to do that is going to be to use some powered rail to make it get going. So this first bit of track right here, this we want to be a powered rail. And then we're going to need a repeater somewhere down the line here. I don't think it's really going to matter so much. Maybe we just put it here. There we go. And then I just need like one more row of blocks here so I can run this around with no trouble. Now, you can do these right next to each other, but I find just a little bit of space makes it a little bit easier for the logistics. Namely, I can put in more of our levers like this with no trouble if I give it a little more room. Also, sometimes these rails want to connect back to themselves, and that's kind of annoying. It's not ideal. So to make it in a big loop like this, it's less likely to try and connect back to itself. There we go. All right. So that is all connected up here. This is connected up here. We need another lever here. That turns that on. Let's just make them facing the right direction just to make me a little happier. Okay, so this should be a thresher that can start threshing. Look at it go. Oop, and it knocks me off. But that is generally a good sign. I assume that is generally a good sign. Although I expected that it would catch more of those. It did not seem to catch that many of them. Let's try that again. Yeah, it seems to be just throwing them on the ground. Oh, and I died. All right, everything is now nicely cleaned up. It looks like if it breaks ones above the actual height of the machine, it'll drop them on the ground. That's less than ideal. I might go ahead and put down a vacuumulator to clean up that mess, but it's not important at this point. The one thing I do want to do, though, is upgrade that drawer real fast because I do think it's going to fill up very, very quickly. We're already at, like, what, 280, that just said? That is a lot. Okay. Upgrade. Give me 2 of these gold upgrades. Perfect. Okay, 2 things we need to do here then. I need to add a stock link and a frog port to this drawer so that it can start supplying all of the rest of our system. That means we also need to put a chain drive up here. We will do that as we go. All right, there we go. Frog port packager. This is all hooked up. All we need is a stock link on it. That is connected. This is now part of our system, and we have sugarcane production automated. Wonderful. Let's go over and start working on ethanol production. That's going to be easy for us as well. We have our industrial fermenter here. This is what we are going to use for that, and we just need to double check all of our recipes here. I believe what we can do is use sugarcane in this. Let's see here in our industrial fermenter. There we go. This doesn't even take water. That is even better. We can just tell it to keep adding to this thing. So let's see here. The packager can go there. Let's go ahead and put our frog port on here. And I think we can just do right like that and call this craft ethanol. There we go. Perfect. That should hook into that system. This is going to need power though. So we do need to run our electricity up and over. Do we have any more flux ducts? There we go. Get those out of our crafting system. And over here, we can now plug this. Oh, we got to go all the way around. All right. So we plug this in over here. I think this, is that the output? Yeah, that's the output. So here is the power. There we go. And so this should output a fluid right here. Somewhere around here, we do have some empty tanks. We'll put that there. And now, again, we're going to use the magic of the factory gauges. We just need 1 piece of sugarcane. We have 2,800 pieces of sugarcane, but we just need 1 for this. Oh, I had 33 on me already. Oh, forgot. Okay, so put this here. And now we're going to tell this that we want 1 stack of sugarcane and put that into craft ethanol. Great. So that should be coming. And there well, we're out of power already. Huh. Really? You're done? That's it? Are you not plugged in? Yeah, you're plugged in. Are you not crafting enough power? I don't know why this isn't working. This is way more power than we had in our previous setup, but for some reason, it doesn't like that. This might be the thing where we have to disconnect and reconnect these because the flux ducts have issues. Okay, well that seems to be doing something. That seems to be getting enough power, I believe now, to barely process. Oh, but we are getting ethanol out. That's all that we really care about. So all that lovely ethanol will go into our refinery, and our refinery, we will use this ethanol here combined with our creosote oil, and that will make our phenolic resin. So yeah, we just need to bring the creosote oil over from this pumping system here, which means we might have to get a little creative because that's a little far to go. Okay, with just a little bit of janking around with the pipes here, we finally got this to work. It just took a couple of mechanical pumps to pull everything out of the fluid tanks that we've got here and into our refinery. So we're full up on creosote oil, we're full up on ethanol. The thing that we are missing at this point is a silver plate. And if I remember correctly, we used to have a silver plate before we moved things around. I don't know what happened to it. I assume we're going to find just a single silver plate in that container over there. So let's go hike over here very slowly. Silver. No, we don't. We do not have silver plates. That means that we need to grab a block of silver for some reason. And then we are going to have to convert this into ingots of silver, and then we're going to have to clean out our inventory before we proceed here. We're going to need to take 1 piece of silver, the 1 pieces of silver that we have made, and we're going to smoosh this into a plate. Perfect. And that should be all that we need to be able to get this automated. All right, let's see here. Is this working? It might be. It might be. The problem is, and you all have probably guessed what mistake I made. Again, I forgot to plug it in. And as always, whenever we have to go and plug this in, we're going to have to break all of our electricity pipes and then put them back because that seems to be a bug in this pack. Now, where are the rest of my flux ducts? And then we'll get this done. Ooh, okay, we can hear that noise. That mean is indeed doing its thing. It does not consume the plate as far as I know, which is exactly what we want. But there we go. Phenolic resin is now completely automated. We never have to think about it again. And we're going to be using a bunch of this in the near future. So it was really important that we get this done. That is one of the big things that we're going to need for the next set of quest lines here. If I can bring up the right menu. Yeah, down here, we are going to start needing Duroplast sheets, which we, of course, make in our with phenolic resin in our blast chiller. And that's going to be how we're going to get advanced electronic components. So we are long overdue for this upgrade. All right, so we made a lot of progress on our automation today. This was really a productive episode. We got all of our various spores automated for our future use. We have our sugarcane automated for future use, and we have our phenolic resin finally automated because we're gonna need that immediately. So I think we got a lot done today. Now, just a reminder, we do, of course, still have the community Minecraft server. It is free to join. If you want to come and hang out and play All the Mods 10 with me and Geek and a whole bunch of other people you probably know from around the Minecraft world or the Satisfactory world, you should come, hang out, and join us. Click the link below to join our Discord. All the details are there. It's free to join. It's free to join the server. But hey, if you do want to become a subscriber and a paying member, we have probably the cheapest subscription around. It's $3 US. I don't know what it is in your country, but that's a pretty cheap subscription, and it helps us keep the channel going. It's not important, it's not critical, but it does help out. Every little bit goes towards paying for the Minecraft community server for us. But for now, thanks again for watching. Thanks again for being here. If I got something wrong, please let me know in the comments below. I always need your tips and tricks. You've been helping me out a lot with this playthrough. You've been helping Geek a lot out with this playthrough. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.